Hey everybody,
Hi,
it's Laura Michelle here. Go ahead, Michelle. We're
hi,
excited.
no, I'm just fired up. We just got off an amazing call where we were able to coach some coaches around the thing, right? And it's so cool to be able to transform somebody's practice in a few minutes. I mean, hell yeah, like you just feel good about the rest of your day, right? We hear so often when somebody has this aha, they have this breakthrough, the first thing they want to do is they want to go change their website. And we're like, stop doing the
Yeah.
thing, right? Stop going to that website and changing it. What needs to change is you, the words that come out of your mouth, and how you connect with people. Because believe it or not, people buy from people, from connection. The words on your website matter. They
Yeah.
do, but not as much as the words that come out of your mouth, right?
Yes. Can I and Michelle and I are fired up. I see y'all popping on here. So if you're joining us, please say hello in the comments. We just got off a coaching call for talking about body mind sales, and we got to connect with some amazing coaches. It was interesting that everybody had like that energy practitioner
Yeah.
thing today. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was really interesting. But one of the things that came up as we were talking to them, well, there's two things that I think I would love to address. I would love to talk about packages and single
Yes.
sessions because that came up today. And
Let us know in the comments if you're offering packages or single sessions. Let us know.
yeah, and if you have a question, like I'm game to play with a couple more questions today. The second thing that came up is exactly what Michelle's talking about today. There is a belief, and y'all, I get it. I come from the massage world. There is a belief that in order, like if you're going to charge more, then you have to do more. You have to, if you're going to offer something for $5,000, for $10,000, for $3,000, and you're used to doing single sessions for $100, you have to do all the stuff.
Justify. Yeah, you have to justify.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prove it, right? And so what happens is this is how it sounds. And what was so fun about this conversation is hearing it shift. It sounds like, well, I do all these modalities and I work with people and we do 20 sessions. And in those 20 sessions, they're all about 90 minutes to 2 hours. And I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And then I'm going to give them this and then I'm going to give them this and I'm going to give them this. And then I'm going to share with them resources and yada, yada, yada. And I just like, I want you to hear if when somebody hears that, they hear it's going to take me a lot of time. It's going to take me a lot of energy. And then they're going to pull out their calculator and say, you said $5,000 for 20 sessions. That's this much per hour, blah. That is not what gives you value.
You will be so in body mind sales, right? When you work with us, what's so neat is your clients will never, and you will never, ever, when you're never going to say the word package again. You're going to never say the word deposit ever again. It's going to be out of your vocabulary. But what's so cool is that your clients will never pull out a calculator again and break down what you're charging per session when I'm done with you, right? Because you will be so great at explaining the transformation, the benefits of what you do together. And as Laura so beautifully talked about on our call today, the benefits of your work is not actually during the session, it's in between. And that's the brilliance, the genius, the joy and love of a container of support versus a package. When I say package, you're laser focused on the price and the time that you are with the coach. When I say program of support container, you think about, oh, what am I going to do in between? How are they going to support me in the doing away from them? And that's where we see the transformation. That's not the dependence on the coach, right? To fix you or do the thing.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I think, my lifelong journey. Like my compassionate anger is, I think, single sessions and packages, the
Yeah.
time for money
Just
breakdown
saying the word.
is
Okay.
the biggest trap for any heart centered practitioner. Whether you do coaching, energy work, craniosacral, whether you're a copywriter, whatever the case, time for money for a heart centered person will burn you out. Okay. And let me tell you why. Because One, we know that you give and give and give and give. Okay. We get that. And a lot of times for heart-centered folks, I don't want to go too far down the path, but there are a lot of money blocks that show up. So like there's all this guilt of like, can I charge that for that hour? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is time for money, single sessions and packages keep you and your clients stuck, right? And I mean, just hear the word packages. God, I remember, my massage clients who are like, oh, can I get a package?
Yeah.
So what would always happen is they're like, I want the biggest deal. And then they would stop tipping me. And it was like, it just sucked. But the unspoken agreement in single sessions and packages is I'm going to pay you for an hour of your time to fix me. Now, what was so interesting today is when we shared this, somebody said, well, it's all over my website that I don't do the fixing and you're responsible, blah, 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 blah. But when you sell a 60-minute session, they are coming in with an unconscious belief that they're going to pay you for that 60 minutes. You're going to give them the thing that they need, right? And then that is going to fix them. They are not your clients as much. And heart-centered folks, you want to give, you want to tell them all the things. You know that they need to prioritize their health and wellness, but that structure itself will rob them of their transformation. And I know you say all the time, I don't fix my clients, but that is not the assumption that they are walking into when they pay you for an hour of their time.
And no wonder you feel so much pressure to prove your value, right? Yes, if you're charging $5,000 for 20 sessions, right? Of course. Well, what are you going to do during that time, right? My question to you is, what are you going to do between the time that we're together and I'm going to support you? Right? So it completely transforms the client experience. It is such a gift to work like this. And this, I want to kick the word nice's ass, because I am so sick of everyone being nice and kind. And as a coach, your job, right? We were talking about this on the call. You're charging somebody $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to work with you. Your job is not to say, oh, no problem, we can reschedule next week, right? Mm-hmm. Your job is to say, no, you paid me to be your coach and to show up for you. So I expect you to be on that call on Friday, right? As we agreed, and to show up for yourself 100%, right? Totally. That is the gift you give as a coach. And they get nice all over the place, right? They get polite on the street. They get polite with their coworkers, right? Even with their spouse, they get nice, but they pay you to invite them to step up into a new way of being. Mm-hmm. And when you work with us, right, we teach you how to do this in such a loving way. Yeah. And it takes some work, because it's one thing for us to tell you to create this container of support versus a package. I get it. But we show you step-by-step methodically in Body Mind Sales how to do this. And it's not going to take you 2 months to get, right? We're going to step into it bit by bit. And you just keep having these ahas and you start to work completely differently.
Yeah. And again, there's, this is what landed for me on the call, was one, understanding, stop doing the single sessions and the packages. Again, we teach a container of support. Just in framing it of over the course of 3 months, we're going to work together. It puts you into partnership, and it puts the responsibility of them taking action on them. But the second thing that landed on the call for me today, and this is why it's so important, because we see this all the time, right? And it was so funny, because as soon as we shared this with people, they're on the call, they're like, well, now I have to go update my website. And we're like, no, now you just go and talk to people, right? The other place where I think, again, people, and thinking about showing and demonstrating value, is there's no training for most coaches, for holistic practitioners. There is no training on how to actually present an opportunity to work with somebody. And so another place where you demonstrate value without adding more things to your offers and your services and all that stuff is by understanding how to actually talk to somebody when they want to work with you. Yeah. it's one conversation that when you get this, we have clients that learn this one conversation, they learn how to create their programs. And that one conversation has been the key to them, going from 2,500 to 5,000 to 10,000 to $20,000. Not because they went and said, I need to do a bunch more things and add a bunch more stuff to this, because they simply said, I know how to talk to you and get really clear on what you need. And I'm going to share with you the structure of support to get there and invite you to work with me.
We had this literally happen in our group day before last, right? The client was offering all this stuff, right? It was like a 6-8 month container of support with massage, which session after session after session. When she started to realize and learn the body, mind, sales conversation, we teach you the 5 steps to choice, our framework. She was able to realize that the value was not in the package, right?
It wasn't in that binder. The binder got me.
Yes.
She included a binder in her services. And I'm laughing because I did that. I used to write up like pages and pages of notes after my clients' coaching sessions because I felt like
right.
I had to prove it, and it took me hours. I hated it. And as soon as I was like, yes, like the binder got me. So anyway, so any client, she was able to offer for nearly the exact same price, right? A container of support that provided transformation, right? Instead of all this stuff. And it's 10%, I kid you not, 10% of the amount of time at nearly the same price. So what shifted, right, was her ability to articulate the value, but first her ability to realize it for herself. Wow, the transformation isn't actually in the binder, right? It's in this container of support in between our time together. Yeah. Yeah. And it's also in the transformation also comes from the person saying yes, making the investment, like dedicating the time and the space and their life to do the work. And all of this comes from like I know where it's like, we're both so fired up because we see coach and practitioner and service provider time and time again, spinning their wheels with all this stuff. And if you just learn this one, I don't know where I am on my camera, this one little thing.
It's this tiny shift that it blows it out of the water for you the rest of your coaching career. Yeah. It's this almost like this is The Secret. I was watching the trailer to the movie, The Secret.
Yeah.
Like this is almost like this tiny secret. And when you get this, it's, Melissa Grossman says like, I can always make money now. I can always sell because you understand how to articulate what it is that you do. One of my motivation for creating Body, Mind, Sales was like all these people in my life. My personal trainer, right? I could make her 10 times the amount of money she makes right now, right? If, so much money. And doing the same amount of work, if she could simply articulate better to her clients the transformation she provides and work in containers of support versus the packages that she continues to sell me.
I'm sitting here thinking of my trainer, and that gives me a great idea. But before I go into that, I'm now envisioning like us producing a video that's like, whoa, the secret has been hidden for years. and when holistic practitioners and when coaches understood this little secret,
the world opened up. It's freaking true. It's true. It is. It's like not even, our team was sitting around the other day, and we were like, of all the gifts like Body Mind Coaching has given us, right? It's the ability to create programs of support. I remember
sell them.
Yes. The very first client I worked with, I remember sitting there in the car, putting together a program of support right before the call, right? I practiced it with a friend in the car, right? And she was like, no way. I was like, oh way, like I'm gonna rock this guy's like total business, Yeah. And she was like, come on. I was like, I'm gonna transform his business, right? And I did. And it was just so awesome to be able to put together these programs of support and realize it's in the time you work together, right? In between the sessions and articulating the value and of what you do and calling the people on their bullshit. That's what's going to transform their lives, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Totally. And I'm about the personal trainer. I was thinking about this the other day because I also had a personal trainer who did packages, and it was like I was supposed to be there at 6 a.m. I'm not a morning person. So,
oh dear God.
so it was a package. I'll just use myself for example. And you're right. Like I now meet people and I'm like, people just experience this on the call. You tell me what you do. I'm like, here's your program. Here's how much you charge because, right. But I want to talk specifically about.
Oh my God, this is what I do. That's exactly it. Sorry, go on.
I know. But well, usually this is where the money gremlins fight me because they're like, I really can do that. And like our body mind coaches now get, yes, you can. But so if you're not ready to actually step up and own your worth on a whole new level, don't worry about body mind sales. But if you're ready to do that and do it smarter, not harder, we got you. But anyway, I was thinking about this. So I used to work with this trainer. And they sold me 10 packs, right? And I think it ended up being like the normal price was like 50 and like the 5-pack was like 45. So I think like a 10-pack was like $40, and which at the time was significant for me. However, at 6 a.m. when you haven't slept well and the alarm goes off, I would press snooze and I would just be like, fuck the $40, right? Like
totally. That's exactly what I do. That's
right.
I'm like,
and not to mention this person was nice and let me off the hook at least 2 or 3 times. Okay.
Totally.
So let's just look at this. I have goals. Like, I think this was before like my God, I've been out of high school way too long, but it was before one of my high school reunions. And so like, so I had this motivation, but they never sat me down and asked why I wanted to do this, why this was important to me, what the goal was. So instead, what they did, listen to me, for those of you who sell massages, energy healing, 10 hours of copywriting,
training,
5 sessions of coaching, whatever, like they said, oh, you want to get trained? So here's my prices, yada, yada, yada. I bought 10 of them. I ditched out on at least half of them. I think she let me make up like 2 or 3 of them. I pushed them off all the time. Do you think that I reached my goals? Fuck no. But let's talk about this. What if I had come in and they had understood that a small conversation, y'all, this is a small conversation. Y'all sit there and think that if you post more on social media and if you get your website together, that then you can charge $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. Stop it. You just need to talk to somebody. Like,
ask them why the fuck they want. That's the thing, right?
Right.
Laura, do you want a fat ass or a skinny ass at a high school reunion?
Yes.
And then she could just text you and say, do you want to get out of bed today? How's that booty looking? Right? And you'd be like, oh, okay,
right.
I'm coming. You know, and
but
no, I'm not refunding you. I'm not refunding you for that session. I'm charging you twice.
Because your goals are not refundable. But like, what if she had sat down and said, why is this important to you? What do you want from this? Like, how do you want to feel when you walk into that high school reunion? How do you want the ex-boyfriend from so many years ago to look at you? Like,
do you want heads to turn or do you want heads to turn?
And then what if she said, look, because this is non-negotiable for you, I'm going to hold your feet. I'm going to love you enough to hold your feet to the fire. And the investment to work with me over the course of 3 months is $3,000. Do you think that I would have hit snooze? Fuck no. And everybody, I'm like fired up because I am sick and tired of this whole, I have to be nice. I have to sacrifice. I have to give it away. I can't charge too much because that's what's nice. Stop it. Right? And I'm not talking about, I could give 2 shits if the price for your program was $50 or $50,000. It is about understanding that the price is part of the transformation. And the number you put on that is not about what somebody pays you. It's about what they're going to do, like what they need to claim for themselves to show the fuck up and stop dicking around in their life. Like that's what that quote me on it. The price is about making people stop dicking around in their life. Laura Wick.
I always
body
tell Laura
mind.
when she runs for office, there's just going to be like this reel of her being like saying crazy things, right? No, it's so good. And I actually, so I was always never like the nice girl, right? In high school or ever, right? Nobody would have really accused me of being like a sweetheart, right? And so now finally for like the first time in my life, I'm like, yeah, I'm not a sweetheart. I'm like, that's why people pay me. Like I help you get results and get paid instead of, dicking around your entire career and your entire business and not getting results for your clients. Because I care about you. I care enough to say the thing, to invite you, to charge your clients when they don't show up, right? To charge what you're worth, to get all that crap out of your offer, and to show up with both feet on the floor and call your client out when they're walking around Target and say, I don't work with people that are walking around Target, right? I'm going to hang up the phone. And when you're at your office, right, and you can talk to me face to face, I'll be here possibly, right? So work differently. And that's what we're going to invite you to do in Body Mind Sales. And we're going to be kind about it most times, but we will call you on your bullshit. We will still charge you if you don't show up, right? And we will reach out to you and we will say, where are you? Get your booty here, right? You're not negotiable.
And this, And I think this is, again, for those of you who've been following along, I'm curious what you're thinking, what's landing for you. But this is such a tiny, like these two little things. And actually, I think there's three in here that we've sort of talked about, but understanding how to create a container of support instead of single sessions and packages. Understanding that you don't need to keep posting and posting and posting and have the perfect website, and that is how somebody is magically going to find their way there and give you $5,000. You need to like genuinely connect and talk to people. And the third thing is that simple is scalable, right? Simple is scalable and ease is expansive. When you understand that, part of what we love to do in Body Mind Sales is show you how to really set people up for success while leveraging all the brilliance that you do, while delivering it in a way that every time you do it, it just gets easier and easier and easier, right? Because again, this belief, I think the biggest block, honestly, I mean, there's a lot of blocks around sales that are money, but I think one of the biggest blocks holistic practitioners have, and give me a heart or a like if this resonates with you, is we are ingrained to think that if we charge more, we have to do more to prove our value. So we end up making it harder and more stressful, and we add more stuff to it. And body, mind, weight, like, what happens is your body starts to create a neural pathway that says making money is exhausting. So of course you block yourself from the next level, right? We want to show you like these skills in Body Mind Sales will serve you your entire career.
No matter what you do. Yeah. No matter how your program evolves. Laura was just talking about Fidel, and she created an offer with Fidel years ago, right? That was $2,500. And he just sold that same offer for $20,000. And what shifted, right, was him.
Yeah.
And was understanding the value of the work that he does, articulate it to his clients through a powerful conversation that transforms their lives. Like, this isn't optional. This isn't like just fun and games, right? This is incredibly lucrative way to live and to work and to receive in the abundance, no matter how your programs change, no matter, even if you switch careers, right? It's completely applicable to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we could be here all day.
All day. It's slowly going.
So if you haven't heard yet, enrollment for Body Mind Sales is open, bodymindSales.com. This is the first time we have ever offered this outside of our Inner Circle VIP clients. And you just notice the stories we're telling here about how we empower our clients to offer it, to sell, to deliver, and then they up level, right? And then the investment goes up. I'm trying to nicely say it's going to happen with this too.
So we are offering at a very inexpensive price. We even have a payment plan this time. There's absolutely no excuse to not step in and do this for yourself. You'll double, triple, your investment very quickly. And over the years, it will amplify and amplify and amplify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So bodymindsales.com. Join us. Enrollment is open for a very limited time, and we can't wait to see you there. Bye, everybody.